What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maurice, and I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Kodesa.
But today we wanted to talk about 7 cons of living in a tiny house. And if you think we're gonna do this entire video up here, you're sadly mistaken. But stick around all the way to the end of the video, because point number 7, which is talking a little bit more about this, is gonna be tagged onto the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that part. We'll come back up here for that, but right now it's hot. We got the AC off so that you guys can actually hear us. We got the fan off. It's daytime. It's like 3 o'clock. The sunlight's out. We'll be back.
But no, before we go though, I do want to say that these specific points are going to be specific to us in our tiny home, so it could be different for many other people living in a tiny house. Okay, I'm getting hot. All right, we'll see y'all in a little bit.
All right, so now that we got that out of the way, we actually got a little space down here to move around. Really, not really.
Don't do my full size kitchen. Boo.
We did do a video similar to this, so if this is something that you're interested in, you might want to also check out this video right here, because it talks about some of the things to just think about before you go, because we have a unique and diverse audience, right? Some people are here for the relationship stuff, the funny stuff, but some of our audience legitimately is considering buying tiny houses and they want to do it. So we wanted to make this video kind of more for that audience. We hope everybody sticks around, but specifically for the people that are actually thinking about making this lifestyle their own. So we wanted to share some of the non-glamorous things that you don't typically hear about. So let's go ahead and jump right into that.
The first thing we want to talk about, well, the first thing I want to talk about, because he doesn't really care about it that much, is the door. Our door is full glass door. And it is great because it brings in lots of light, but I would have preferred either a half door, half window, or have the blinds that are built into the window, and that's just things that we actually could have gotten, but we didn't. So if we did it again, I would want to do that instead. The second thing that is a little bit of a con for us, but that's something that we could fix, is a dining room table. We kind of miss having that across the table conversation when we eat, because we sit next to each other at our countertop table. But that's something that we could do. We could like have a little, like, you know how tiny houses have these built-in things. We could like do a built-in table in the couch and like store it under it and bring it back out. We just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's just something different about having a face-to-face conversation at dinner time. And I find now more when we go out to restaurants and we sit, which we can't go out to restaurants now, but before all of this, when we used to go out to restaurants, I would always find myself like just wanting to sit there longer. Like, hey, let's just stay here. Like even after we finished eating, sometimes the servers would be like, is there anything else you need? Because we would just enjoy sitting across and having a meal like that. Since we don't do that as much in the house, I just noticed that we started doing that more when we were out.
And don't worry, we made it worth their while. We did tip generously when we took up people's tables for very long, because your girl's a server, so I understand the struggle. That's the truth.
The third point that we would say is a con about living in a tiny house, and this might just be seasonal, I guess, with the coronavirus, or I don't know how.
Your scenario. But.
Yeah, basically, we didn't notice this as an issue until more recently. But like, if I'm home and I'm on like a Zoom call, and she's home and she's on a Zoom call or a phone call or whatever it is, it's really hard to like both be in the house at the same time while the other person's trying to talk. So we'll like end up both putting our earphones in, or
somebody's going
like
outside.
One person will go outside, the other person stay inside, or sometimes like one will be up in the loft and one will be downstairs, because it's just kind of hard. And it's like, if she's talking to her friend, like I'm kind of like always in earshot, or vice versa. So like just kind of like having that privacy. We didn't notice it before. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's great if you're trying to be nosy, but if you're just trying to focus on your conversation, you can't focus because you're too busy being nosy, paying attention to their conversation.
We didn't notice it before we were at home so much, but now that we're home all the time, we definitely notice it. So if you're a like work from home situation or whatever, then it might just be something to think about. I guess I'll take the fourth one. So the fourth one is the bathroom temperature. The mini split unit is actually, it doesn't do the greatest job of actually getting heat and air into the bathroom. So like if it's really cold outside and you got the heat on in the house, there's a noticeable temperature difference between the living room and the kitchen and then the bathroom. And like we've actually talked to some of our neighbors, and they've said that they've dealt with the same thing. So I think it's just, even though the space is tiny and you would think that it would, work perfectly fine, there's just like with the walls, kind of a blockage in a way. It's nothing crazy, drastic, but like you will notice it. Or like if it's really hot outside and you have the air on and you step in there, it's not as cool in there as it is in the rest of the house.
It's not like the loft, because the loft, that's a whole different temperature.
Yeah, the loft is really hot during the daytime.
The fifth thing that we think is a con now that we've been in the house for a while is the fact that the AC unit is right above our TV. And we actually didn't really think much about it. I don't know if you did, but I didn't. But we had an issue where the house wasn't leveled, so it was kind of like dripping and coming down the wall, and so that was like a serious thing. It could have gone really badly had we not caught that in time and been able to stop that and fix that. So maybe putting it on the other side, because there is that space there, that would have been something that we should have considered. We would have thought more about it.
And even if you don't have a problem with the drain pipe, like the problem she was describing was like the drain pipe wasn't like, the hose wasn't all the way down in there, so we took it apart and fixed that. But even sometimes, even when that's not an issue, if it's really hot outside and you got it on a really low temperature, sometimes like condensation will build up a little bit within there, and so then you kind of have that condensation over the top. And for a while, we actually thought our TV was broke. We would cut our TV on and it would power up, and then the light would just go right back off. We're like, damn, we got to replace this thing, and it just totally wasn't working. And then out of nowhere, it started working again. And so we have no idea, but we think it's probably related to like some sort of moisture from the AC unit dripping down on it. So if you can, just put the AC unit on the opposite wall from the TV when you design your house. The sixth point we would say is leveling the tiny house. Now, this is something, if you're going to be hiring somebody to move your house and level and stabilize it every time you go somewhere, then you don't really have to worry about this as long as you hire well. But if you're going to be doing it yourself, leveling is extremely important. And it's not really a con, but I just put it in here just so that people understand the importance of it, because if the house is not level, there's so many different things that can go wrong. She mentioned it with like the AC unit leaking, if it's leaning a little bit. When we were off level, we started seeing small little cracks pop up because it's putting extra weight, on the house or whatever in different ways when it's not evenly balanced.
You mopping and the water's running away from you.
Yeah, she poured water on the floor to mop, and it literally ran to the corner of the house, and so we knew that it was off level in that area. And then I actually got it re-level, and our faucet, our spigot where the water comes into the house, was dripping a little bit, which eventually saturated that ground and made that soft, and then it came off level again. So you got to make sure you got dry ground. You got to make sure you get it done the right way every time. Even our front door, one of the other things, the front door, it gets stuck or hard to open or close or hard to lock and unlock if it's not level. So there's just a ton of things that go into that. So you got to make sure that that's done the right way as well. And for the last and final point, we're going to head back up to the sleeping loft. And we'll talk a little bit about that, because that's a pretty popular question, topic, subject on our channel. So let's head up there. All right, so we're back. Point number 7, our last and final con about living in a tiny house. We would say, it's kind of weird because it's not even really a con. Like, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We actually, this is from the floor to the ceiling here is about 3 feet of space. We actually knew that this was going to be this way even when we were designing the house, but we decided to go with it anyway because we wanted for me to be able to duck downstairs, or we wanted for me to be able to walk downstairs without having to duck down in the kitchen. So it's not even really about the loft. The other thing with the loft that we wanted to be able to do for sure was use every bit of space. So
that was the biggest thing for us.
Yeah. So we could drop this down onto the main level and not have to do all this, and there's a lot of tiny house designs out there like that. But when you do that, you're either going to sacrifice living room space, sacrifice kitchen space, or you're going to have to lengthen the trailer to give you more room to put it on the back end of the house, which is going to cost more.
If we were to do this again tomorrow, I'm not doing no sleeping loft like this. And I only say that because it's like a hassle to me with the ladder and having to put it up and take it down and all that. That is the biggest hassle. I don't mind the space because I don't think it's that small. I'm obviously sitting up higher than he is. But like, to me, that's fine. But it's the fact that you gotta move the ladder and put it back, and like crawling in and out and like up and down is a little bit extra right now. So I guess that's something we worry about too.
So if we bought another tiny house, you would wanna go longer.
Yeah, because we'd be thinking about having kids anyway. So Because I'm a little nervous now thinking about how, like, am I gonna even want to climb the ladder when I'm pregnant? Who knows?
Yeah, that's actually something that's a good point. Something to really consider.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different designs, and there's lofts where you can actually make them, you know, with more height, like I was talking about before. So everybody's isn't as tight as ours. Ours is actually, I think, one of the tighter ones. And then I'm 6'5" too, so that's why, you know, it may seem even smaller than it actually is, just because I'm so tall. You might get up here and be able to sit up with no problem.
Yeah.
But
that is our final con.
That's pretty it.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, because
give us a like. Give us a like for this.
Yes, come on. We all the way in here and we squeezing and we hot and all that. So give us a like for this. Leave a comment down below and make sure you subscribe if you're new to the family and share with a friend. Thank y'all so much for watching. We love y'all.